Hey, how's it going? SonOfDonnie here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Before I begin, I'd like to preface this video by saying that I am in no way a professional, nor do I wish to pretend to be. This series is intended to educate newer players as best I can with the 2.5 years of experience I have playing this game. This video in particular is aimed to lay a baseline understanding of what Siege is as a game, as that knowledge is crucial going forward when we discuss things like, among many other things, gadgets, maps, and operators. So let's begin. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is a PvP tactical hero-based FPS in a highly destructible environment. Now, that's admittedly a lot to take in at once, so let's break this down from the top. PvP, or player versus player, simply means that the core game is comprised of you, the player, competing against other real people or other players. That almost goes without saying, but it's important to appreciate what that means. It means that gameplay is often unpredictable, as people are not executable code. If you mostly play PvE or player versus environment type games, think single player Minecraft or much of Destiny's gameplay, then you know that the enemies you encounter are predictable and easily overcome given enough experience. PvP is different in that the better you become as a player, so too do your opponents. This is particularly obvious in competitive games that have skill based matchmaking, though that's a topic for another day. Basically, what I'm saying is this: as Siege is a PvP game, there always tends to be a lot of thinking involved minute to minute or even second to second, trying to outplay your opponent and your opponent trying to outplay you. Related to that, let's discuss what it means to be a tactical game, as in needing tactics or a strategy to accomplish your goals. Siege is an incredibly complex and diverse game, for reasons we'll discuss later on, but what this complexity allows for and indeed necessitates is strategy. You have multiple game modes in Siege, each with their own win conditions. Some of those conditions overlap and some don't. Some maps are better suited for attacking or defending, given what the game mode is. Some operators are better suited for executing a play for the objective than others. The point is, there are many variables that go into deciding the best way to win a given round, or of course, you could always decide to just go in and make the enemy player count 0 before they even get a chance to set up, completely removing strategy from the equation. This, of course, is a strategy in and of itself, and assuming your gun skill is adequate enough, more than suffices for success. But frankly, in my opinion, if you want to see prolonged and rewarding success in Siege, learning what every operator does and how they can have an effect on a round is the best way to experience the game. So let's talk about what sets Siege apart from similar games like Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. The main difference is its hero-based gameplay, though in Siege they're known as operators. There are currently 58 operators in the game, 29 on attack and 29 on defense. Every operator has a unique ability or gadget that allows them to have a unique impact on the round. Some are more suited for aggressive playstyles and others are more supportive. Every operator usually falls into a particular role or roles on a team of 5. For instance, on an attacking team, often you'll see an entry fragger, someone who enters the map first and gets a few picks or kills, a flank watch to aid them and watch their back, and maybe someone to breach a particular wall for them to get into the map. Those are a few examples that immediately come to mind, though there are many more. As a hero based game, this opens up the possibility for counterplay. For example, if you know that the opposing team is rushing into the map and not really looking where they're going, maybe you play defensive operators that lay traps as a form of counterplay. Or on attack, if you notice that the defending team is spread out from the objective and roaming around the map, maybe you bring an anti-roamer character suited to finding said roamers. By now, I'm sure you can start to see the overlap between Siege's hero-based gameplay and the topic of strategy we discussed earlier. Next, let's discuss what it means for a game to be an FPS, or first-person shooter. That simply means that the player's perspective is that of first person. In other words, you see what your character sees. This is important to appreciate because you can often only see what you allow yourself to see in game. You can be standing, crouched, prone, or even repelled outside a building. Thus, your perspective is subject to change at any given moment. Sometimes an enemy will be able to see you when you can't see them, and vice versa. So it's up to you as the player to be aware of your surroundings and give yourself the best possible perspective to achieve your goals in game. The shooter portion of first person shooter is the simplest bit in such a complex game, of course, as in you have a gun and you shoot it at your enemy until their health drops to zero. Every operator has a unique customizable weapon loadout available to them, and some really synergize well with the rest of their kit, so this portion is really fun to explore. Finally, the last thing that makes Siege so interesting and complex is its highly destructible environments. There are currently 20 playable maps in the game, and many have been reworked since launch. Much of any map in the game is destructible, as in they can be destroyed by players in a round and they stay that way for the duration of the round. This, to me, is the most vital aspect to understand when discussing what Siege is. Soft surfaces like drywall, wood, or plywood are easily destroyed by an array of gadgets or even bullets. Hard destructible surfaces need more specific and powerful gadgets to breach, and some surfaces are completely indestructible. Learning what is and what isn't destructible in any given map is key to being aware and in control of your surroundings, and taking advantage of a particular bit of destruction will often lead to creative and unique gameplay scenarios that offer loads of replay value. All of this is to say that Rainbow Six Siege is a very complicated yet rewarding game to play. For me, understanding what the game is at its core offers me a lot of enjoyment. And so, with this baseline knowledge of what Siege is, I hope to educate more thoroughly on the specifics of the game. So, look forward to map breakdowns and operator guides, as well as videos describing roles and their playstyles. You can look forward to gadget descriptions and gun breakdowns, and even videos about what attachments do what for each gun. I look forward to bringing you this content, so don't forget to like and subscribe to be notified when a new video goes up. Also, do me a huge favor and follow over on the socials. Links are in the description down below. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you very soon.